What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants. No hate. Joe Joyce, Zheil Zhang rematch. This is going to be a quick one. This is a fight I want to see how it's going to go. Fighters can change and do better in rematches. It happens often. Now, this particular case, this is a case where no matter what a person thinks, if they think Joyce will be better in the rematch, we'll see. If they think he won't, we'll see. But I understand why people think he won't for this reason, for me, okay? And for those who feel the same way, I don't know what's going to happen, okay? But with Joe Joyce, his entire career, he's fought one way, and that's just straight ahead trying to take you out. What people are thinking he's going to beat Zheil Zhang with, okay, is pressure, more pressure. They're saying he didn't pressure him enough last time. Well, I find that to be false, okay, because what people fail to realize, him sticking that right jab coming from that southpaw stance in his face was a huge difference. And in fact, Zheil Zhang can actually box, and he basically was smart for being first. He was smart and sharp on his counters. Joe Joyce didn't know how to get him without getting hit. He felt that power behind the shots. He swole his eye up and closed it shut. Now, is it necessary for people to say if his eye didn't close shut, he would have won? No. They make it sound as if he came into the fight with a swollen closed eye. He got punched in his eye and he got beat up. That's what happened, okay? Zhang came in and won. To say that he's here to prove that the rematch was, that the first fight was a fluke, no, it's not a fluke. He won. It's as simple as that. He won. So if Joyce was to win the rematch, then you won. That doesn't erase the first fight and say it was a fluke because you won. That's foolishness. It's stupidity. I don't know where it is. Boxing, people even allow those type of thoughts to surface in their head, and you support this nonsense. I watched Lennox Lewis get knocked out by Hassan Rahman. He came back and avenged the loss, yeah, but it doesn't erase what happened. Rahman beat you the first time. Lewis beat Rahman in the rematch. It's as simple as that. It doesn't erase what happened. Now, if you look at Liam Smith versus Chris Eubanks Jr., Chris Eubanks lost the first fight. Liam Smith won the first fight. It doesn't mean the first fight was a fluke. He got caught. He got hit. That's the boxing game. What Chris Eubanks Jr. showed you is that I'm better than I was that first night. And now I'm sharp. I'm really sharp. And, I'm not going to get into all the particulars with that because people say a whole lot of things. Same way Lewis came back in the rematch and showed him, I'm better tonight than I was that last night. It does not erase what happened. It's one thing if a guy goes into a fight. An example, David Haye had a second chance to show Tony Bellew, okay, now my Achilles tendon is fine. You beat me that night. Well, it's obvious I had a bad Achilles tendon. I couldn't even really stand up and put weight on my leg, right? A rematch came. He didn't have that problem. He just got beat up. Referee stopped the fight. So same thing, there's guys that can, things happen, but we're not gonna play that game and take, Zheil Zhang's we're not going to take his accomplishment away by saying anything other than what happened. Joe Joyce just got beat up. Now, what is it that you see Joe Joyce doing different? The best fight I've seen him fight against was against Parker. He was pressuring Parker. He picked his spots where he picked the pressure up, picked the pace up. He was more defensive-minded in that fight. The difference I see with Zhang is not only the power, but he has some quickness, and basically he knows where to place his shots. And with Joe Joyce, the less Joe throws, the better chance that Zhang has, but even the more he throws, because what they're dependent on is for Zhang to get tired, gas out, and that's what they think is going to be the key. We'll see, but If he's doing that, and let's say Zhang is really in shape and can go to 12 rounds, then him doing that doesn't necessarily mean he wins. You got to understand, with Joe Joyce, the pressure is there, and he throws his jab a lot as well. But the problem with that fight is Zhang is just a better boxer than Joe Joyce. So for Joe Joyce, he has to do what he did the first time. Understand what he did. Do you really think that tactically Joe Joyce is going to be a better fighter? Man, he's been fighting one way his whole life. So now to think that he's going to come in and do anything different, it's a little bit far-fetched to me, but we will see. So I can understand people thinking he's going to lose because his style is just not going to work on Zhang, but you never know. But I can believe that. That sounds more feasible. It's more understandable than him just coming in and all of a sudden he's just tactically so better. The little changes and things that they may make, it might be enough, it might not. We don't know. But Joe Joyce is not going to come in here a different fighter. You've never seen him different. Even against Parker, which to me was his best performance. Like I said, he was more defensive minded, keeping his hands up. And Joe Joyce and that fight with Parker was basically it was easy to telegraph his punches. And his punches were desperate. And the fact is he never gave Joe Joyce anything to worry about. So it's obvious people would pick Joyce over Zhang at that point, where people would think, well, look at what Joyce did to Joseph Parker. How did Zheil Zhang beat him? Well, it's called being underrated. Zhang doesn't have a big name. And people, they sleep on you. They don't want to give you your credit. The man won the fight. It's that simple. We're just going to see, what each guy comes with, tomorrow night. And we're going to just see how things go. I don't really know who's going to win. I'll say this: if Zhang can do the same thing and he can sustain that as long as he needs to, I think he wins. If Joyce can do anything different, I don't know that he necessarily wins because he does something different, because I don't know what that different thing is going to be. So more pressure doesn't mean anything if a guy is landing his punches properly and he's accurate and making you miss. But he's in the process of him doing that, he's beating you to the punch and not landing you. So we don't know. In terms of how he beats him, I really don't. I mean, I can go into that, but I don't really, see the need to, But basically, just in a nutshell, throwing more doesn't necessarily mean Joyce wins. Throwing less doesn't mean he necessarily wins, because stylistically, he's one-dimensional. If he is more defensive-minded and being smart about trying to block shots and not just rushing in like he normally does, we don't know that that's going to work for him. We just don't know that's going to work for him. The reason why I don't have faith in that type of style for him is because he's not a boxer. He's a puncher. He's a pressure guy. Plain and simple. He's a straight pressure guy. And for him to really get off is when he really lets his hands go. But he had problems finding Zhang, and that southpaw stance bothered him, like I said. And so for that alone, I don't see Joe Joyce coming in there and doing anything really different other than trying to catch his shots, make him miss, make him pay with volume. Catch him, put him in vulnerable positions where maybe his feet is not planted right, where, he's throwing shots, not expecting Joe Joyce to come back with a big flurry and things of that nature. But I don't know that's gonna be enough. We'll see. So, I don't know what his game plan is. But looking at the way Joe Joyce has been fighting, I can't really see him doing too much different. I really can't. It'll be little things. And to me, I would think it would be wise to be more defensive minded. But like I said, make him miss. Try to make him miss and make him pay. Volume shots there. So you're out throwing him. So even if you're not outlanding him, I don't want to see the judges just give somebody the fight. You want to see the rightful fighter get his hands raised, the winner, the real actual winner. But I just think that this is a fight that I like this rematch. Now, let's say if Zhang wins again, what's next for him? Don't know. Don't know. But it will be interesting to see. And whatever he's going to do, he needs to make things happen quick. The man is what, 39, 40? You know, Joe Joyce is right behind him. Joe Joyce got to at least be 38, 39 now, at least 39 or 40. Joe Joyce is right behind him. So if Joe Joyce wins, what happens next? You know, at this point, I don't think people really care to see a rematch with him and Dubois. You know, that's a fight Dubois has been calling out for, but he just lost his last fight. And, you know, we don't know. Does he, you know, what the title scene, heavyweight title scene is looking at right now. And, you know, I don't know what's going on. And hopefully we just get a good fight tomorrow and we see where things go from there. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I like I said, I think Zhang has to be the same. Zhang can do the same thing. He just needs to make sure he can go to 12 rounds and not gas out. And I don't really see what Joe Joyce is going to be different. I just don't see what he's going to do different. I mean, I think little things they might try to change. Otherwise, I just don't see him really being different. And we'll just have to wait and see. And I don't really care to give a prediction, man. But like I just said, if Zhang can do the same thing as he did last time, because Joyce is not a slick boxer. He's a volume guy. And actually for him to throw less is taking him out of his element. But because his style and Zhang's style is going to be still a tough fight. So I don't care what he does. If Zhang can do the same thing, he should win. Whatever Joyce does different, we're just going to have to see. Because in terms of his capability to fight a sharp, smart fight and not get hit, how many times have you seen Joyce do that? So, just saying, y'all. Talk to me in the comment section. Who y'all got? Zhang for the win. Joe Joyce for the rematch, for the revenge and the rematch. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. I will catch y'all in the next video.